You think I'm actually writing a paper. She is going to be on a rampage. I don't know it. Oh my god, I'm so sad. I love it. Oh my god, it's gonna finish me. I'm just gonna update Goodreads. Hi guys, welcome back to part 2 of the Throne of Glass reading vlog. If you haven't seen part 1, definitely go watch it. We read the first 3 books in that video. I read Throne of Glass, Hand of Midnight, and Heir of Fire. I also touched my reading order in that video. So in this video, we're going to read Assassin's Blade. I am reading Assassin's Blade as the 4th book, and now that I've read Heir of Fire, which I was really thinking I was going to struggle leaving that book and then coming to this, I actually think it makes sense that I'm reading this book number 4. The way Heir of Fire ended, Selena is going back to her old stomping ground. In the next book, Queen of Shadows, her assassin skills are going to be like in full display. So reading about how she became an assassin and reading a lot about her master, because she's basically going in Queen of Shadows to find her master, and they've mentioned him by name only in the first 3 books I've read. So I feel like reading this as a little break before we go to Queen of Shadows is actually quite great, because it keeps things fresh in your mind for the next book. Kind of makes sense in my head this way. Even though I didn't know that was how I was going to feel reading this, I'm actually happy I went through this order. So Assassin's Blade is basically 5 novellas in one. I think she released this as individual novellas in the past, but now she's put on all 5 novellas into one book. The events in this book happen before Throne of Glass, the first book. Just how some people read it first because it sets the scene for you. I feel like if you want to go into this series like knowing exactly what's happening and not feeling confused about anything, then definitely read Assassin's Blade first, because I feel like a lot of the questions I still had in the last 3 books I read, I feel like I'll probably get the answers here, because there's some characters that they've mentioned that basically have passed away. I think they were alive in this book. We can't understand exactly what happened to them. So everything still made sense. I'm in book 5. So we're going to be reading Queen of Shadows as well with this video. So it took me 9 days to read the first 3 books. Let's crack on. Okay guys, we're reading Assassin's Blade. I just finished one of the novellas, which is about 75 pages. So I'll tell you the types of all 5 novellas. So the first one, which I just read, is The Assassin and the Pirate Lord, The Assassin and the Healer, The Assassin and the Desert, The Assassin and the Underworld, The Assassin and the Empire. So I think each of the novellas just following Selena on adventures when she was an assassin. So in this first one I just read, she's 16 years old. So that means this book took place 2 years before Throne of Glass. So in this first book I read, she's basically going to do the task for her master, and she's with Sam. Okay. So bearing in mind, as I'm reading this book, I know what's already going to happen to Sam, because we know what Sam's like conclusion, which I'm just like, oh my god, I think this is gonna finish me, because Sam is basically our first love, and the reason why she was basically in prison was because something happened to him, which I'm sure you guys can get. I have a feeling this book, this entire book with all the novellas, is basically going to show us how she falls in love with Sam and then how their story ended, which I think is going to literally break me. So I was like, oh my god, I'd never thought about it like that, but that's kind of what we're going to have to go through in this entire book, which I'm just like, God of mercy, how am I going to do this? So I guess that's why people think is more emotional, because basically you've basically fallen in love with Selena and kind of fallen in love with Sam in a way, because she basically like holds Sam in a very high pedestal. Because if you read this first, everything just feels kind of rushed and cold, doesn't really give you that impact. I feel like you get more of an impact on this when you kind of know the characters a lot more. So our master, well, I can't remember his name anymore. So there's so many names that start with A, and they all start to blend into one. Yeah, our master is called Arabin Ammon. So E is dodgy. She has like so much loyalty for him. It's more like a Stockholm syndrome kind of thing, because he saved her. I still think there's more to that. I don't think it magically just stumbled upon her. I'm sure there's more backstory there, which I'm pretty gonna find out. Anything he's ever asked her to do, she never questioned him. She just like thinks, okay, he's good, he's right, I work for him, he's my master kind of thing. So I think in these books, she's trying to question him a little bit, trying to understand like, okay, why is he doing certain things? Things don't make sense. And I think she's trying to have a mind of her own, and her ethics is trying to get into this. This is what I do when I read this kind of books. I overanalyze this book. It's like, you think I'm actually writing a fucking paper on this, like the way I kind of break down the characters and what I think and things like that. But I'm sorry guys, this is how I read. I get so emotionally involved, and I basically become the character therapist. Basically, I feel like once we get to the part where she and Sam are together, it's gonna be like, oh my god, yay. Lysandra, girl, you are flirting with your life. Oh my goodness me, that's funny. Ooh, okay, I feel like I spent most of today reading. I'm on the last novella of Assassin's Blade, The Assassin and the Empire, and I'm scared because this is the last book, which is like the last 12 chapters, and I know what's gonna happen. Oh my god. But I wanted to pause here before I go into this like scary place. I wanted to pause here because I feel like this book is actually, I think I said it already, about like reading this book at this position of number 4 is the perfect time, because basically it's a good place to pause between the next phase of Selena's journey, which is basically going back to Richfold, and we learn a lot about her past, especially her master, the Assassin's King. But there's a lot of characters in this book that I hope to God we get to see again. For example, Irene, the healer that she saved before she went to the desert, the friend that she made at the, you know, the silent assassin academy kind of thing. I think I want those two to come back in a way. Basically, the Assassin King, her master, is a villain, and now I am definitely sure that he knows who she is, and him finding her was no coincidence. And I feel like I'm right there because this guy is evil. Yeah, so I'm so scared because she's basically described what happens to Sam in the other books, and having to read that, I'm actually scared to read it. I feel like it's gonna break me because she and Sam finally are a couple now, and he's been in love with her forever because obviously they grew up together. Oh my god, I'm saying 11 days earlier. Oh my god. First page, like an epilogue of this last novella, is basically the ending. Okay. I literally love Selena, but reading this book actually made me even like her even more, because basically she is a boss ass bitch. Obviously she's an assassin, she's like one of the best assassins in the world, but she's still a girly girl. She likes to shop, and she's so arrogant. Like, she's so cocky in her skills. Like, I love that about her, because why shouldn't she be cocky in her skills? So I love her so much. Now I'm thinking, based on her personality, I'm still correct, like Rowan is the best guy for her. Even though I'm upset about Sam, and Sam, oh god. Guys, you can tell I'm literally waffling on to stop myself from going to read this, which I need to read, guys. I'm scared. I am petrified. I wanted to get the most emotional feel from this book, and trust me, the emotions are strong and high, because I just have to get on with it. I'm so scared. Okay. Whew. Lysandra, can fuck off. Ew, that's disgusting. But also, I don't think I told you guys. So basically, even though when this guy rescued her when she was 8 and trained her, she's kind of in debt to him. So every time he gives her a mission, she gets paid for it. He takes a cut out of it. It's like continuously growing. So in The Assassin and the Desert, which is the third novella, she went to this it's called a silent assassin academy. She was as punishment, basically to train. But she ended up saving someone's life, and the person gave her so much money, like a lot of money as a reward. So she basically used that money to pay off her master. So now she's free from him. So in this last book, she doesn't live with him anymore, in this house anymore. She has her own apartment, she's free. So I just feel like this is turning point, because now I think it's a bit priced. Even though it was like all like, oh, it's okay, I understand, blah blah. I was afraid that it would come. He didn't expect to pay off her debt. He wanted her on the leash forever. God, don't look at the body, don't look at the body! It burnt him. Jesus Christ. He removed his eyes. You know, reading this, knowing, like, I expected this to happen, it still hit so hard. And the aftermath, Harvin pretending that he was basically going to avenge Sam's death when he wasn't. It was just a trap. It's actually really annoying. Like, it's actually brutal to read. Like, I need to read this. 22 pages left. And I'm just like, you are a bastard. This should be the acting skills. Okay, guys. I finished The Assassin's Blade, and I thought it was gonna be more emotional because I expected it. I wasn't emotional. It was quite sad though. The death of Sam was quite grim. They go into a bit of detail, not too much detail, but some detail of like what happened to him and stuff like that, which is quite sad. I realized that now we know who betrayed Selena, but she doesn't know. I think she has an inkling, but she doesn't want to believe it. So we're now up to date. So I really enjoyed this book. I don't think I would have loved this book as much if I read it first. I think I would be so confused. I don't think I would have felt any kind of connection with Selena if I didn't read the other books as a background. These novellas were not published before the series. It was published after a couple of books were out. There's a lot of characters in this book that I said before I want them to come back, and I feel like they're going to come back. Like, for example, the Pirate King, I feel like there's something there. He's probably going to come up for revenge. Going into the next book, Queen of Shadow, I know for a fact it's going to be juicy because now she can get all her revenge. A lot of the characters that were mentioned, side characters that she knew, that, but we don't know how she knew them. Those were answered here. They did mention a little bit about the Iron Heart Witches, who is Melon. She's the character that was introduced in Diary of Heir, which we don't really know how she fits into the story yet. We just know that she is a witch and they're training to basically be part of the king's army. I think I know everyone going into this now. This is a 4-star read. I know that I haven't given any of the books in the series 5-star yet. The 5-star feeling is almost there, which is so weird because I feel like with Akatar, to be fair, the first book, you guys know I wasn't really like it took a while to get into it. Everyone says Queen of Shadow is their favorite book, so I am going to be reading Queen of Shadow for the next, I don't know, 3 days. We're going into the weekend, so I have time to read, so I'm gonna like binge reading it. But as I said, 4-star, thoroughly enjoyed this. This is quite sad. I just think maybe I'm just a bit cold-hearted. I'm not crying. I didn't think I was gonna cry because I knew it was coming, and it's not as graphic. I didn't know this is a YA fantasy book, so she wasn't going to go into that graphic detail, but it was quite sad to watch her, like, you know, she was waiting for him, and then she was like, oh my god, it's going to be here, and then she just went into this blind rage to kind of avenge him and stuff like that. And it was just so sad to see her, like, she literally couldn't even avenge is dead. She doesn't even know where it's buried. She mentions it in the other books how she doesn't even know where Sam is buried. This is her first love and things like that. It's really sad if I think about it. And I just feel like, oh god, I'll get some satisfaction when she's actually had a full revenge with all these people. And then I realized apparently some people actually read the entire series without reading this, without reading Assassin's Blade. I'm like, what? Because there's a lot of characters that will come up, and I feel like they will come up in the series. There's no way this character is just gonna die. The fact that they're mentioned here, there's a reason why. The characters are here, like, not having a backstory. I guess maybe they'll repeat their backstories in the books. I'm not sure. We'll see. We are starting our next book, which is The Queen of Shadows. This is when it starts to get ridiculously chunky. This is 645 pages. It says, no masters, no limit, no regret. In this book, she literally is answering to nobody. Because Throne of Glass, she was the king's assassin, so she had to do the king's bidding. The same thing with Crown of Midnight, same thing with Heir of Fire. Assassin's Blade, she had to answer and do the bidding of the king of assassin. In this book, she's loyal to nobody but herself, so she is going to be on a rampage. I cannot wait. I know for a fact this book is going to be, because she is ready to fight for her throne, fight for our people, fight for our friends. Because the way the Heir of Fire ended, I'm scared because everyone is all over the place and people are literally trapped. Everyone she loves is in a dangerous predicament right now, so she's coming to save the day, but she has to fight for it. Ooh, okay, so we are going into this. I have so much energy because I'm just, oh my god, I'm just ready to go with this. I think I will probably read something decent, but I just want to make a start. reading this. I've just read like 3 chapters of this, and literally I can't stop rolling my eye. Like, oh my god, Araben is so slimy. Oh my god, I love you. Oh, so corny and slimy. Just okay. All right, that mate. We'll have our coffee. We need it because it's going to be a marathon reading. I'm basically going to do my, you guys haven't done it in a while, like my 24-hour reading challenge, but not 24-hour reading challenge because it's 8:45 Saturday morning. I am up early because I really want to read this book. Oh my god, I'm so sad. I love it. So last night I did meet my target. I wanted to read 100 pages before I went to bed, and I got to chapter 13, which is 110 pages. I think the first 5 chapters was like, oh my god, because it picked up exactly where we left off in the Heir of Fire, basically meaning that she's in the new continent now, and she's using her new name. But I think for the purpose of this video, I don't know how I'm gonna do this without doing spoilers. So she's going by a real name, Aelin. We're there. She's coming in with her trident. She's no longer Selena Sedophian. She is now Aelin, which is her real name. But after like chapter 5, it kind of slows down a bit because they keep showing Menon, who is that witch, which I still don't know where she plays, but now she's with some of the characters from the first books. Basically, Menon is becoming part of the king's army, and I don't think it's sitting well with her. Heir is annoying me. Heir has been a character, you guys know, since I've been reading this book, that I've just been on the fence about my feelings towards him, and I think I just don't like him. No matter what he does going forward, even if it's like it becomes like a hero and it does everything nice, I just don't like him. I don't know why. I do not like that character. Like, it just rubs me the wrong way. And I think I've been on the fence with him for so long because I just couldn't want to admit that the fact I don't like him. And I think reading his behavior since Aelin comes by, I'm just like, oh, he's so annoying. He's going to ruin everything. He's so judgmental, such a goody two-shoe. I can't stand him. I've accepted I don't like him. So basically, he called Selena, I'm just going to call it, he called her a monster because she has powers. And he actually said a monster. And then she asked, like, okay, how is it that I have magic, I'm a monster, but your best friend that you're obsessed with, that you want to how am I a monster and he's not a monster, we have powers? And even the prince told him in the Heir of Fire was like, you can't pick and choose the part of her you love. What they have was not love, because I don't think she ever said she loved him. He always says he loved her. I think it was infatuation. I don't think she finds it. I think she's over him so much. I think she's grown between Crown of Midnight and now she's grown into a woman. She's no longer in his league anymore. Like, she is, if he gets without his punching, she's so above him now. Because I told you guys I was so scared to read this book because a lot of the characters at the end of Heir of Fire were in mortal danger kind of thing. So she's obviously come now to save the day, but she's walking into a trap. Like, she knows it's a trap, and I hope she's prepared for it because she knows about it. And she's also working with her old master Haraben now because she needs him for something, but I hope she gets rid of him. It's like the middle book. A lot of things will be finished off here and new things are going to kick off from here. So this is going to be so good, and it's the only book that's red, which makes me think there's going to be a lot of bloodshed. So I'm thinking this color is appropriate. Oh my god, Lysandra and Erin bonding over love of chocolate and clothes. Oh my god, girly pops! I didn't think I would see like big girly pops in a fantasy book. Like, literally they are bonding over chocolate and clothes. It's so judgmental. The double standards, I can't stand him. Oh my god. I've been reading now, oh my god, for like, what's the next picture, you guys? 9 o'clock. It's 1 o'clock now, so I've been reading for 4 hours. I am on chapter 29. Things are picking up because Rowan is here, which is like, oh my god, I didn't think I was going to see Rowan in this book. I was a bit upset, to be fair. I thought because she left him in the other continent, I didn't think it was going to be in this book, but he's here. He's here. Oh my god, I'm so excited. So I literally just read like 2 chapters of him being here, so I'm excited. You guys, I've changed my hoodie because this hoodie is so comfortable and I feel like I wear it all the time. But I think going into this book, really scared because I was so scared to get into this book that it's actually not as scary as I thought it would be. All the people that were in limbo, things were resolved really quickly, apart from the prince. Obviously he's still held captive and stuff. So I'm really worried about what's going to happen to him because basically Kel still annoying and Selena are still at odds on what to do with the prince, and I think Kel might be right because, but he's obsessed with that kid. Like one thing about him, even though I don't like him, I can't find annoying, when he's loyal to someone, I guess it's really loyal, because it's literally the only one advocating for the prince right now, hoping that it's right somewhere. So at the moment they are at odds, and I don't know how it's gonna. I think there's gonna be a showdown when they have to like actually make the decision on what to do about the prince. But now that Robin is back, I think Selena has more backup. I think I'm reading this a lot quicker than I read the other books, to be fair. So I am on page 250, pace at which I'm reading. I think I can finish this book tonight, which is like, oh my god, that is thorough reading. Lysandra just got very, very, very interesting. Oh my god, it's so funny. I didn't expect her background. Oh my god. Wow. Do you know what? Yeah, I am so happy that Lysandra and Erin, Selena, whatever, they're friends, because it's actually, I don't know if this is gonna last, but for now I'm happy about it because their friendship is just keeping Sam alive. Oh my god, oh my god. Oh my god, the sexual tensions between Rowan and Selena. Oh my goodness, God of mercy, I'm shaking. Like, this is a slow burn to the max. She is such a tease. Oh my goodness me. Wow, they want to be together, but they're just like, we have to go to war and we have to save the entire world, but we want to jump each other's bones. That's kind of how this is going. Whew, I am literally burning up. There's over 100 pages left to read and things are brewing. Oh my goodness, this book is so good. I think I'm going to sound like a broken record in this. I am so happy I read Assassin's Blade just before this book, because basically having that fresh in your mind and going to this book is great. A lot of the characters that have like big roles in this book are in Assassin's Blade, so it hits you a lot more when you read Assassin's Blade right before this. But oh my god, another character that I literally didn't think I would like, that I am loving in this book, is Lysandra and Selena. Like, they're like besties. I just love their friendship. Like, I'm so happy like Selena has a female friend. It's just nice to have just like little moments between that feels like normal girls in their 20s just having a good time. No matter what is going on outside, girls will be girls. Do you know what I mean? I love those like moments between them. If you've read any of Sarah J. Maas's book, you know the formula. This thickness is just a build up to what's about to happen in this finale. At the end of part 1 of this book was sensational, because the way she got rid of Harabin, our master, King of the Assassin, what he was planning to do, and I'm confused. I can't decide. Both can be correct. I think Harabin is obsessed with Selena in a way that he fancies her, like sexually. And I also think he wants her power, like literally is possessive of her, because I think he's probably like regretting making her an assassin and not a prostitute or something, because he's obsessed with her and it's very unhealthy. He wants her to be like so dependent on him for every single life source. But the way she got rid of him, the end of part 1, that was so good. That was a nice little like midway juiciness I needed. So she's basically conquered one enemy. Now they're moving to the next enemy. Oh my god. So the epic battle happened. Oh my god. And basically the villain, the presumed villain that we thought is basically they've gotten rid of him. But obviously, plot twist, or like his dying breath of the villain, it basically exposed the truth. And I'm just like, oh my god, there's more. Literally, they've just scratched the surface. There is so much more going on. Because I was like, oh, if they get rid of the villain, what's going to happen in the next 3 books? They are quite chunky. But it makes sense. The plot twist with the villain makes complete sense. I've got like 20 pages left and I'm done with this. So I'm just going to read the last 20 pages. and then we can debrief. But yeah. No, my God, no. I think Irene is about to come back. I'm finished. I am done. I am done with The Queen of Shadows. And what are my feelings about this book? I don't know, guys. Let me just try and gather my thoughts here. I think the feeling I got towards the end of this is great. I think I mentioned to you guys that obviously this entire book is basically our main characters are on a quest to save basically their kingdom and things like that. They're trying to like defeat the villain, which is the king. That is basically the goal here. And there's been so many things that's been building up to this moment, which is great. In the first part, we got a nice little like conclusion to one of Selena's villains, that she got rid of him in the most spectacular way. So that was just a good way to wrap that up. And then part two, when things went on, at one point I was thinking like, surely if they get rid of this villain, then this is the end of the book. Like what's going to happen in the next 3 books? But it makes sense, because this should have been my head. I cannot believe I didn't even think about this the entire time. But everyone is being possessed or by some kind of demon. So I shouldn't be surprised that the villain, the king, is also possessed. Basically, it was just like a puppet. They still have a massive war to conquer, but they did win a battle in this book, which was great. And oh my God, the found family that's going on here. To be fair, found family / real family that's going on here is so good. I just love it. I think I love the character development. If I think about the Selena I read in The Throne of Glass, the first book, and the Selena I'm reading this book, like they can tell the maturity, even though she's like, I think she's 19. Yeah, 19. Oh my God, it's been a year. And also I told you guys the sexual tension between Rowan and Selena is just unreal, and I cannot wait for that to come to fruition. I don't know if people have mates in this. I think Selena and Rowan are mates, but I never know. And oh my God, Lysandra is so adorable. Quite a lot of the villains are dead, but there's still some main ones, so things are still brewing. Like the other villains that they've mentioned, like secondary characters, that I feel like they're gonna come out of the woodworks in the next few books. And also, basically, Heir, I feel bad for him. Like, obviously, when they were doing the final battle thing, he basically is paralyzed now. So, I'm like, oh my God, I don't like him, but like, God, no one should be paralyzed, you know? So now they're gonna, I don't know what's gonna happen. I think they're gonna send him off to go get healed in this, like, in the south, which is like, they're known for their healing. But then, I think I mentioned to you guys when I read Assassin's Blade, Irene, which was the girl that Selena gave her the money to go to become a healer. I feel like she's gonna come around, because I feel like where she went to train is where they're sending Heir. So I think she's gonna come around as well. In terms of how I'm feeling about the series, to be fair, I'm not gonna lie. Don't get me wrong, I'm enjoying it, but I feel like I enjoy Akata more than this. I don't know. I did say that because I had such a high expectation for this series. Maybe I've set the bar a bit too high. But I remember vividly when I was reading Akata, I had such an excitement, and I'm not getting that yet. And I was hoping I would get this in this book. So I don't know when I'm going to get that feeling. This is a 4.5 star read, not 5 star. So I don't know. I'm still waiting for that like aha moment that solidified this is amazing. One thing I would say about this book here is that the plot in this is so good. If someone told me when I read Throne of Glass, the plot is going to end up, I would never have thought about that. So the plot of this is amazing. So, but I'm thinking like I'm on book 5 of the series now. Surely the excitement should kick in. Anyway, let's keep going. But I do love this. I'm not going to lie, I love it. I'm just going to update Goodreads with my rating for this. Maybe because of the romance. And I think that's the thing. I love romance, and because there's hardly any romance in this, I enjoyed this story the most because the tension between Rowan and Selena was great and stuff. So I think maybe because I'm not getting that romance, maybe that's why this is not banging. Because I feel like with Avatar, it was like, Akata, it was like romance, love confessions, just pulls on your heartstrings. This is it. So guys, stay tuned for part 3 where we do the tandem read. Ooh. I am excited for that. I think I'm excited to just experience tandem reading for the first time. I don't know which one. I think it was Tower of Dawn. People said it's really boring or something. Not boring, like it's just very long-winded. I'll see you guys in part 3 where we tandem read Empire of Stone and Tower of Dawn, guys.